Senior Management Team at Disney by Jazilee Williams, Joseph Matthews, Nick Green, and Sarah Hare. Table of Contents. Literature highlights most important regarding groups. Literature highlights most important regarding teams. Form groups and why. Cohesiveness and diversity to support group effectiveness. Role requirement change in different situations in the group. Strength and weaknesses of group decision making. Ensure diversification of team group members and why is diversity critical to the success of the team. Role of oh, role of virtual teams and how to implement best practices. Role of communication in establishing and maintaining a positive team environment. Tools and resources used to maintain positive communication. Explain the literature highlights as most important regarding groups. So for this side, we have goal setting, motivational theories, improving group performances, Abraham's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and two factory. For the next slide, it is explain what the literature highlights as most important regarding teams. Teamwork effectiveness and job performance, emotional intelligence, the Big Five personality model, comparing personalities and team member relationships.
For this one, we have, once it shares here. All right. For this one, from the outset, what kind of groups will you form and why? Starting off, we got negotiation process of workplace. Next, we got set ground rules. After, we got group level cohesion, and then finally, positive work outcomes.
Next, we're going to look at what is the best way to ensure cohesiveness and diversity within the group. I think one of the best ways to do that is probably survey team members, make them anonymous and descriptive. It gives everyone a little bit more of the ability to kind of speak their mind as far as how they think the group should work, and what are some of the best strengths that we can put into the group and ensure everyone is kind of one mindset. Having an elective rotating panel of employees, with the group more likely being a larger group, having a panel that is there to represent the employees, anything they may need, any ideas that they might have, any work issues that they might have with the group. That's going to, kind of create a little bit more cohesiveness within that group, and then they can bring that to us, the senior management team. And then also recognizing strengths and weaknesses, is a really good way to ensure cohesiveness. So, getting teams within the group and saying, okay, here's your strengths, here's your areas of opportunity. You're good at this, but you're not good at that, but you're good at that. Pairing those people together and they kind of feed off each other, it creates a very strong bond in a work sense. So I think that'd definitely be a good idea moving forward.
Next, how will you deal with the role requirement change in different situations in the group? Starting off, we have behavior patterns. Next, role requirements following conflict role expectations. And lastly, inter-role conflicts.
Based on the group's formation, we anticipate the strengths and weaknesses, the differences between the individual and the group decision making. For individuals, their strengths, we can make faster decisions on our own. We can outperform a group, and the accountability is easier to determine. Weaknesses of individuals are that there's fewer ideas. We identify best, individual is challenging, and we put off making decisions. For groups, our strengths are more information, we have more diversity, and we have increased acceptance among members. Weaknesses, it's time consuming, we have increased pressures, and there's additional responsibilities.
Next, I want to cover best way to ensure diversification within the group and team members. Um, I think when we're doing the forming of the groups, we're doing the forming of the teams, picking people from various backgrounds, various departments. Everyone has different educational experience, different professional experience. Bringing those people together and being part of a group and part of the various teams within the group, I think is the best way to ensure diversity within the group. Not only also speaking with the group and the teams about what's the best way to succeed from a business point aspect, but also just what's the best way to kind of create more of a diverse group since it's going to affect them directly. Asking them their opinions, asking them what they think is the best way to ensure a very diverse mindset. Possibly even having small work events. People. Disney is a very large company. We have people of all different type of backgrounds. So, having people, do small events, people bring in their foods from their various cultures, or maybe, express some knowledge that they might have on their various cultures, or clothing, things of that mindset. I think diversity is critical to the success of the team just because it strengthens it overall. The key to determining, how to harness the power is harnessing the power of diverse thought. Everyone perceives things differently. Everyone, learns things differently, and being able to harness that power, I think, is one of the best ways to ensure the success of the team.
The role of virtual teams and how we will implement the best practices for them. Virtually, we met early on. We clarified the tasks. We created different types of communication channels. We tracked our commitments. We shared leadership initiatives, and we established trust within our group.
Next, I want to go over the role that communication plays when establishing a really positive work environment. Communication, honestly, is key to the strength of a business. No business, no department, no person is an island when it comes to business. Organizations have to continuously communicate with other organizations, departments, communicate with other departments. Same thing with team members. Communication is just key. Telling people what you expect of them and what they expect of you is more likely to get the success that we're all looking for. Also, clear communication reduces the likelihood of disagreements, misunderstandings, and mistakes. A lot of times, a misunderstanding, someone thought they were supposed to be doing something when they really should have been doing something else. That leads to a mistake, and often that can be easily resolved with clear, concise communication. So I think open, very constructive communication is definitely a key to a very positive work environment.
The tools and resources we use to maintain our positive communications. We have open communication meetings. We've been emailing back and forth. We created confidence and seriousness between each member. We actively listened and took each other's advice. We used appropriate tones. We encouraged feedback of all, and we were appreciative of what everybody did inside our group.
Um, and to close, these are the list of our references. Various references, including the textbook and scholarly journals, were used to share insight between one another to show us how well our team worked together.